Hi everyone, and welcome to today's video. Today we are going to be going over my monthly favorites for the month of August and September, since I didn't get around to August last month. I cannot believe it's already October. 2022 is almost here, and it just feels kind of surreal that we are already almost moving on to another year. So yeah. It's been one hell of a ride. So yeah, let's get into it. Per usual, this list is not going to be huge. It's going to be a little bit bigger than my normal list, but not big whatsoever. I like to keep these products down to a minimum when it comes to these videos because I truly don't have an excessive amount of favorite products. That's just there's no way that I can continue to use a ton of products throughout the entire month, like a lot of different ones. And I'm not going to include anything that I've only used a couple of times and I like. These products are truly products that I've been using over and over and over again since I either purchased them or since I opened them up. So let's get into it. We're going to start off with skincare. This is a category that I get asked about the most because you guys have seen an improvement throughout the years underneath my eye area. If you've compared some of my videos that I've uploaded now to some of the ones that I was uploading even like 3-4 years ago, my under eye area has gotten a bit brighter. Now, the only reason why I haven't made an entire video on my skincare routine, including the under eye area and all of that, or very specific to the under eye area, is because my products underneath the eyes are constantly changing. So perhaps that's why it's improved so much, is because I've just tested out so many different serums, creams, eye masks underneath the eyes. Now, I can't get into all of the products that I've tried underneath the eye area throughout the years, but I can get into what I've been using during the last couple of months. Since it has changed. One of the things that I've introduced into my eye care routine, if you will, is the use of retinol. So I was using the retinol stick from Peace Out. I was also using the retinol concentrate from Josie Maran. Now I liked them both, but I wasn't done with the Josie Maran before I moved on to the one that I'm using now. The reason why I moved on is because I accidentally dropped the little jar and it's glass and it shattered and it got all over it. So there was no way that I was going to continue to use that. I went onto the Sephora website to try to repurchase it and it was sold out. Now, because that happened, I had to move on to something different, and this is what I decided to purchase at the beginning of August and what I've been using ever since. This is Dr. Dennis Gross Triple Correction Eye Serum. Now, this also has retinol. If you're not used to using retinol, or if you're thinking about that for around the eye area, because you can use this serum on the lids and underneath the eyes, so all around, works great. I really love it. It's nice, it's light. Your skin just takes it in right away and it doesn't leave you with any kind of like thick residue or something that's like heavy on the eyes. Very, very lightweight. Now, start off slow. That's the one thing that you definitely have to do when introducing retinol into your skincare, whether it be like all over the face or especially around the eyes. Start off slow. Start off like maybe once a week or twice a week, 3 times, and like work up your tolerance, because if you go in too fast, you're gonna feel it. Your skin's definitely gonna feel it. I'm using this guy pretty much every single night underneath my eye cream, call it a day, and I really like it. I've seen an improvement in the fine lines, perhaps a little bit of brightening, but nothing that I can definitely say this is it. But I have seen an improvement around the eyes, especially on the lids. I love the fact that you can use it on the lids. Another eye cream that I've introduced to my nighttime skincare, because I do use 2 different eye creams right now, not for any particular reason, just because I have 2 right now. So this is the one that I'm using at night on top of the triple correcting serum. This is the Ren Brightening Dark Circle Eye Cream. I really love this stuff because it's and I only use it at night because it is very thick. It does have a very thick consistency, but it hydrates the under eye area so nicely. By the time I wake up, everything just feels so like refreshed and ready to go, ready for makeup application or what have you. I really like it for the under eye area. Next up is this Live Tinted Hue Guard Sunscreen. This is a 3-in-1 mineral sunscreen. The reason why I love it is because it is so darn lightweight. So lightweight, it does not feel like you're wearing sunscreen at all. It feels like you're wearing a very light moisturizer, and it just melts into the skin. Now, why didn't I show you? Okay, so this is the tint. This is the shade when it comes out. But so it's not white and it completely melts into the skin. And like I said, it truly does end up feeling like a very lightweight moisturizer. Now it is SPF 30, so I wouldn't wear this on its own if I know that I'm going to be outdoors for an extended period of time. I would use something a little bit higher, but for days where I'm just going to be around the house, or I'm wearing makeup and I don't plan on being outdoors for a long period of time, this works perfectly fine. It wears super, super well underneath makeup. Like I said, it doesn't leave that white cast look on your face, and it feels so lightweight and comfortable. This definitely has turned into kind of like my everyday sunscreen that I wear no matter what, unless I'm gonna be outdoors for an extended period of time. I always grab this. Next, Olaplex number 6 Bond Smoother. My goodness, is this such a good product. I know it's small and it is a little pricey, but it's concentrated, so you do not need a lot of product at all. I apply this onto wet hair, style as usual, and everything just looks so much smoother, so much healthier. You can also apply this at the end of the day, like let's say after a shower. If you don't really feel like doing anything with your hair the following day, just apply a little bit of this and everything just looks so put together and kind of like an effortless, messy look for the next day. It just looks so good. It cuts drying time practically, I think, in like half, because Sydney's got a ton of hair, my daughter. She's got a ton of hair. Whenever we do apply this onto her hair, it always seems to dry faster and it always styles so much smoother. Highly, highly recommend. Next up, these two. Now, I've been getting a lot of questions about how I have been maintaining my ashiness, or the ashiness in the blonde that I have going on. It's styled up because I couldn't be bothered to curl it today. Not today, but I usually have it down, and you guys have seen it, and you guys have made comments in previous videos, and whenever I'm on Insta stories, you guys want to know exactly what I'm using in order to maintain the ashy tone. Now, I was using the Pureology Purple shampoo and conditioner, and although those are good, these are like 10 times better, because you don't need to use these all the time. Now, they are so good that you probably shouldn't use them in every single wash, because they can. When I first received these, I kind of overdid it, and I was doing it I was washing with these every single time. And I kind of started noticing my ashy go a little purple. So I had to like reel it back. Now I'm using this every third wash. So I'll do 1 wash with Olaplex, 2 washes with Olaplex, and then by the third, if I start to see a little bit of brassiness, a little bit of yellowing going on in the hair, I just use these and we're ready to go. We're back to normal. So definitely recommend. You don't need a lot. They will last you forever. I mean, like, I've had these for a couple months now, I think, and they're still practically full, because you don't need to use them in every single wash. This is a good way to maintain the ashy tone in your blonde in between salon visits, Now, let's get into some makeup, shall we? This palette, the Patrick, I hate the packaging, by the way, because look at how disgusting this looks. Like, it looked so good when I took it out of the box, but now it's like, oh my gosh, does it get used? But yes, it does. It gets used a lot. This is the Patrick Ta 4 Eyes Major Dimension Eyeshadow Palette. And look at this. Like, oh my gosh, does this speak to me every single time I open it? You guys know how much I love my warm tone neutral shades. This is absolutely a go-to everyday palette. Something that you can definitely take from like an everyday light brown look to a more smoky nighttime look. And you can pair this with other palettes. It's just such a good like staple palette. I love these cream eyeshadows. They blend out so nicely. Here, I'll show you on the back of my hand. So I will apply them onto the lid like this, right? So that's the lighter one of the two. And there is the deeper of the two. And then all that I have to do, really, all that anybody has to do is just grab maybe a little bit of this, maybe a little bit of that, maybe a little bit of this one. You can just blend it out, blend them together. And you see that? Like, the line is gone. The eyeshadows are blending. And you've got yourself like such a nice, smoky, warm, neutral look. And you can take this really deep. So that's what I have on the eyes right now. I've been using the cream shadows as my base, like nonstop. This is what I grab every single time lately. And just blend them into another shade, either a lighter shade or a deeper shade. I always top it off with a little bit of the shimmer. And like, it completely transforms the look. I love these. I love these so much. Not only because they're so easy to work with, like amongst themselves, but you can also pair it with other palettes. This is another favorite of mine that I've been using the entire month of September. I think that's when I ordered it. I ordered it at the end of August, I think. But anyway, this is the Natasha Denona Mini Glam palette. I've been pairing these two together like every single time that I sit down and do my makeup. That's what I have on. So I have on, I should have probably just done like a look, like gotten ready as I'm talking about this, but sometimes I feel like I cannot speak about a product and concentrate on doing my makeup at the same time. Like it's just really hard. So that's why I didn't do it. Anyway, I have this on, and then I also have this on. So I have this, and I put it underneath this deeper shade, and then I topped it off with this guy right here, which is a really nice gold shade. Looks like that. Like, oh, look how beautiful. What I love about these mini palettes with Natasha Denona is that they're $25, and the quality is not missing from these little ones. So if you really want to try a Natasha Denona palette, but I know they're kind of pricey, trust me, they're kind of pricey, but you don't want to have like a huge palette with kind of like the same color scheme throughout, a huge expensive palette with the same color scheme throughout, get her little mini ones, and they are so worth it. So worth it. You can mix and match some of her other mini palettes. They're just, I love them. They're so small, compact, great to travel with, and they definitely can bring a look together. And you can get it from like really light and, you know, not very complicated to a very dark, like more nighttime smoky look. I love them. I really love them. Another favorite product is this one, also from Patrick Ta. This is the Major Brow Lamination Gel. I swear, everything that I've purchased from this man has been perfection. From the sculpting, the face sculpting contour palette. What the heck is this? It's right here right now. This is the cream contour and powder bronzer duo, to the eyeshadow, to this, to the lipstick. I have a few things from Patrick Ta, and I've yet to be disappointed. So when I purchased this, I was like, oh man, I don't know if this can replace my Anastasia Brow Freeze Wax. It absolutely did. This keeps your brows in place, solid, locked, ready to go all day long. They don't move around. For me, I have to redirect some of my brow hairs so that my brows seem fuller, since I do have some sparsing going on down here and here, like sparse areas throughout. So I have to redirect my brows, and with the brow wax from Anastasia, they were staying, but not the entire day. So they wouldn't stay put, the brows redirected in the direction that I wanted them. They wouldn't stay that way all day. With this one, they do. They're not going anywhere. And I also use this here along my hairline. Whenever I do this, like, you know, down the middle part, I have some hairs that kind of like to go this way instead of this way. And so I just take a little bit of this, redirect them, and look, they're like not going anywhere either. Really like this brow gel. Next, the stick blush from Anastasia Beverly Hills. This one is in the shade Peachy Keen. I love it because the shade goes with everything. Now, I do not like the brush that comes with it. I don't even use it. You can see it. I've tried to use it a couple of times, but if you are wearing like a, you know, liquid foundation underneath, or even whatever it is that you have underneath, it's so small and dense and stiff that when you are trying to blend out your blush, it just kind of gets moved around. I thought that this could come out. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong down in the comments. Maybe I'm missing something, but it doesn't come out any further. And so it is very, short, stiff, and kind of useless. However, the blush, look how pretty that is. Like, oh my gosh. I was obsessed. I still am obsessed. This really goes with any and all eye looks, at least for my complexion. I pair this with everything, and it looks great. That's what I have on right now. It's very, very subtle, but you can work it up to not be so subtle. The only thing that I do is I grab it with a brush instead of applying it, and then instead of applying it directly onto the cheeks and then kind of blending it out, I just grab a brush and then apply it that way. And that way I just feel like I have better control over how much is getting applied onto the face that way. Yeah, I love the shade. I want to purchase a couple more because I know that she has, I think, like 4 or 5 different shades. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. They're so good. They blend out so nicely. Like, let's see, look at this. You see how subtle that is? Like, just so subtle, such a nice, like, just little, you know, pop of color on the face. I really like this. I love the shade. I love the formula. I love everything about it. Next, this corrector from Lancome. Oh my gosh, is it good? You don't need a lot at all. This is literally all you need. So very, very thick, very pigmented, and this is what it leaves you with. So it's enough to do both under eye areas. You get crazy coverage with just this alone that you don't even have to apply much concealer on top of it. It wears so well with pretty much all of my concealers, actually. I really like to pair this with its own concealer though, so the same brand, same name that I refuse to say now because it's French and I just cannot pronounce it. Anyway, I like to pair it with its own concealer. I like to pair it with my Pat McGrath concealer. I like to pair this with, the only one that it didn't work with, because I've been continuing to test it out with other correctors and I've yet to get it to work, so I'm just giving up on it, is the Anastasia concealer. I've tried it with this one. I've tried it with my, obviously I've tried it with my Beauty Pie corrector, with my Becca corrector. I've tried it with my NARS corrector, and it just doesn't seem to want to work. So I'm giving up on that concealer, but every other concealer that I've tried that I like with this has worn so well. And last but not least, this one is one that totally surprised me. I did not think I was gonna like this concealer at all, but I actually ended up really liking it. This is the Makeup Revolution Eye Bright Illuminating Under Eye Concealer. Now I wear the shade Warm Tan, and as you can see, I'm almost out. Just if you saw that review, you saw how much I wasted, because this does come with like a little sponge at the top, kind of like, or not kind of, exactly like the Maybelline Age Rewind. I hate those sponges because you just can never clean them. Like, you just can't. You can't clean them. The makeup stays in there. It's exposed to air, so bacteria, and it's just, no, I couldn't. So one of you in the comments suggested that I just pull that thing off, which I did, and now all I have to do is just, you know, crank it in order to get the concealer to come out. I put it on the back of my hand, and then I'm good to go with my brush. I really love the way that this wears underneath the eyes. It's illuminating, it's hydrating, it looks so lightweight, it looks pretty natural. It's such a good concealer. And for the price, I was really shocked. I've yet to really run into a concealer from the drugstore that I love just as much, if not more, than my high-end ones. But this one's definitely one that has stayed in my top drawer. I've used it repeatedly ever since I reviewed it, and I really, really like it. So that completes my monthly favorites. Thank you all so much for watching. I truly hope that you enjoyed today's video and that you found it helpful. Don't forget to subscribe so that you don't miss out on future monthly favorites or reviews or anything that I've got coming up. And also don't forget to follow me over on Instagram so that you don't miss out on any of the other stuff that I post over there behind the scenes. Now, granted, I've been a little absent on Insta stories, but I'm trying to get better at it. I'm trying to continue to engage with you guys over there. It's just, yeah, sometimes the day just like gets away from you, and before you know it, it's 9 o'clock and you're like, I didn't even eat dinner. Just kidding. Doesn't happen to me very often, but yeah, the day just definitely does get away from me sometimes. Anyway, don't forget to follow me over there. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Mwah! Bye.